Hey, thanks for the like. Who's watching? Is that Noah? Kane, good morning. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? I'm going out and doing some rock farming today. We gotta adjust this here in a minute, but we're waiting for a little bit more water to get in the system. It's supposed to be about 800. As you can hear, the pump inside is starving for water. So we're adding more water to the system. I think we might turn the pump off here. We don't want to mess it up, fluctuating like that. Hey, we got more people in. What's up? We're doing some hydroponics this morning. Upright and the sun is shining. No rock farming today. Unfortunately, back is playing up too much. What's this little project? We're getting the cups ready to put the lettuce inside. The roots come out the bottom of the cups like that. This is actually a strawberry, not a lettuce, of course. But yeah, our water system is still lacking water. I'm gonna go check the filter outside, see if it's still sending water or not. Good morning to y'all. Good morning. It's still sending water, but we're gonna go ahead and add some more in there. It goes out the bottom of the filter, down in, towards the ground, and into the hydroponics inside. Yeah, we're gonna get us some more water started. I see, said the blind man. How's the hip, knee, and ankle this morning? The knee hurts. I don't feel much of the ankle or the hip. I even had chest pain a little bit earlier, yesterday. My temporary shut-off valve is somewhat working, but as you see, we got a little dripping. Yeah, we have two wells. We got what used to be the primary and then the secondary. The secondary seems to be having some problems. We need to work on that later on here. It's over there. But the old primary is over on the other side of the garden. Pro tip, don't get old. Alright. That ought to be enough in the filter for now. Let's go check it out. But yeah, I think I'm going to turn that pump off. It's gotten water to the lettuce like it was supposed to. I don't want to have it gasping for too much water. And it's getting the water back in from the hydro, so that's good. Good morning. Who else is watching here with me and Kane? Check out the filter here again. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it just comes down through this pipe into the greenhouse. After, of course, getting filtered through a lot of sand and stones. Try to keep the water as fresh and neutral as possible as we send it in. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and add some nutrients to the system. We just get our 500 milliliter container. Moved my chair out of the way. But yeah, typically when it's about 600 like that, one dose of 500 out of all the 3 nutrients is all that it needs. That's the C nutrients. A mixture of copper and nitrogen, I believe, if I recall. And then I'll get the B nutrients. This one is just Epsom salts. 500 mils of that. And then the last one, the poly drip. This one's always helpful to get a little shake going on it. Mils of that, and it should be balanced out about 800 to 1,000 now. Go ahead, switch the pump back on. So he's already reading. Y'all can't see it very well. It's already reading a little high. I don't know that you guys can see it at all. There it goes, 1,000. But as things swish through, you'll see it all balances out to 6.4 and about 900. See there, it went down 6.2. Now it's going below 900. Once it runs through the system a little bit here, you'll see it'll get balanced out. Did you make your own nutrients, or is that store-bought? Well, we bought sacks and then we mixed it up with water, so I don't know if you call that store-bought or not. At some point, we're going to figure out how to turn chicken manure into the nitrogen we need, but we haven't figured that out yet. I haven't done enough research yet. But yeah, we want it to be 6.4 on the bottom and a little bit under 1,000 for the conductivity. About 800 or 900 is great. But as we add water, it's going to get diluted on the conductivity, and the pH will adjust a little bit. But the water temperature is great, guys. You see that? We've got 86 degrees. That's awesome. It was 92 the last couple of days. 92 is not really good for lettuce. Hey, Elijah, what are you up to, Levi? We're just doing hydroponics this morning. Already fed the chickens. We're, just trying to get things in order so the lettuce can grow. Here's a little sneak peek of our lettuce. We got to do a little bit of lettuce shuffle here in about an hour or so, but I was in the middle of burning cups, but I figured we would adjust this because our water is kind of low. That's why that pump's making a weird noise. Alright. That should balance out about 900. We'll see. Like I said, it'll drop significantly once we get to the water level where we need it to be. Grab my chair. Get back to burning some cups. We burn these holes into cups so that the roots can come out of the bottom of the cup like that. Here's a almost ready marketable plant. But yeah, without the holes, how can the plants get the water they need? But yeah, what are you doing, Elijah? How's it been? How was the boat races? Thank you, brother, for watching. They were great. Yeah, we didn't stick around. They had Friday, Saturday, Sunday races. We were just there for Saturday, so we didn't ever figure out who the victor was, but it was great getting to watch them race. There's quite a few local teams, not to mention Apollo foreigners on some of the teams. I know that the local team that our friends are on made it to semifinals, and we're starting on Saturday. We're gonna race for the finals, so I never did get a report on whether they won or not, but maybe we'll figure that out here today. Seems how it's Monday. Everyone should be back to the regular work week schedule. I'll run into a couple people. Yeah, you ever seen boat races like that, Elijah? They have it all over the world, but it is very famous here locally in Boracay to don't breathe. It stinks. Yeah. Yeah, this they say on the cup, most of them at least, that they're ozone friendly cups or whatever, so it's not burning a hole in the ozone layer like the past generation thought to burn these, at least. I don't know. That boat race video was ducks and nuts. Good to see you enjoying some beach time. Yeah, we don't get to go out to Boracay enough. There, we're at 8:30 and 5:06 or 6:05. 6:05 should go down maybe, but the temperature did go up 1 degree because the water we're adding isn't exactly cool water because it's laying in blue pipes as we pump it out of the well. So the first little bit is always warm coming out of the pipe. But the ambient temperature is way above 85 degrees right now, so it is cooler than the air. Ambient temperature, is that the right word? I don't know, guys. They have some in Indonesia where my wife is from. Oh, awesome, Elijah. I didn't know if they had them there or not. It was funny. The first time Noah told me about your wife, he said, you married a girl from India. Which I guess Indonesia and India are at least two countries that could be a little bit more confused because they both start with IND, but and then he's like, no, I was wrong, it was Indonesia. Well, that's typical Central education. How about it? Not knowing our geography very well. If I hadn't been in the Philippines, I wouldn't know my geography that well either. I still don't really know that much about geography. Although I was in your dad's geography class. That's Elijah and Noah are brothers, guys. I know Cain and Noah have had quite a few conversations here in the comment section. Yeah, Elijah's the one that's my age. Noah is a year or two older than me. Yeah, their dad is a wrestling coach and geography teacher at our school we grew up at, Kane and Bill. But yeah, Bill, you were talking about video games, PlayStation, last evening. I'd love to hear more about that, Bill. You said you got over 200 PlayStation games and a PlayStation from picking up soda cans along the side of the road, huh? That's wild. Sounds like something I would have done. I would have been selling strawberries or mucking manure out of a cow barn, but I would have done the same thing. We weren't allowed to have consoles whenever we were kids. I mean, we did have a GameCube for a time, and I guess we did have a PlayStation once upon a time, but a lot of my childhood, my parents were like, we don't need any of these consoles. We're going to teach our kids to play outside and use their imagination. And I'm grateful for that. I don't know what life would have been like had I never been forced to go outside and use my imagination, but I definitely feel like my thinker is a little bit bigger because of that sense of imagination as a kid or whatever. It's interesting though, because like I still imagine things, but I don't imagine things like I would when I was a kid. What about you guys? That childhood wonder. When did you lose your childhood wonder? We got some chickens gonna look like they're gonna wreck my lettuce. Kane, I wanted to turn all my chickens into tinola. I'll have to show you the full damages. There's only like, we went from 50 damaged yesterday about lunchtime to now there's less than 50 left out of the 500. I want to kill them all. I hate them. Stinking chickens. We have a kid on the way. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Congratulations, brother. Did you figure out, how long are you in? Did you figure out if you're getting a boy or a girl yet? What would you like? I started on a Commodore 64. Yeah, my dad, I think, had a Commodore. Maybe not a Commodore. What was your other one? Nintendo 64? I think that's what my dad had. Nintendo 64. They weren't made in 64, so why did they call them 64? Yeah, I think the first console we had to have been a GameCube. But we had it probably like 2008, maybe. So it was already kind of old tech by the time we got our hands on one. I think it was 2008. I really don't have the memory I used to. Is he ever coming back to America? My wife would love to meet your wife. Yep. We're definitely coming back. I don't know when. We're waiting on my daughter to get her birth certificate, which should be within a month, most likely. She's about to be 5 months old come the 13th of May. So I imagine by 6 months they should have their crap figured out. It kind of rubs me the wrong way that the government here makes it mandatory for my daughter to get identification, for her to have the government birth certificate, but the government birth certificate takes 6 months. So it's not like I could have, I didn't know this until after the fact, but I could have requested an expedited birth certificate from the government whenever the hospital applied for one, but we were never informed about that. And so we could have had it back in maybe a month or so, but now it's too late to expedite it. But yeah, as soon as the baby gets her birth certificate, we're going to take her to Manila or Cebu, wherever the closest place is, to get a American passport, because she'll be able to get one because she's my daughter. Then once the baby has her American passport, we're going to apply for my wife to get a spousal visa to live in the States. We could get her a tourist visa and go really quickly, but a tourist visa is like $900 and a spousal visa is like $1,200. And the tourist visa will expire. The spousal visa obviously won't. And maybe those numbers aren't exactly right. My point being is, am I going to blow $900 for something that's temporary whenever I just spend double that or whatever to get something that's permanent? It's going to take longer to get the spousal visa, maybe. But I'm thinking with me having an American passport, my baby having an American passport, my wife should be able to get a spousal visa pretty quickly. Now, I know it takes, after the spousal visa, something like 5 years living in the States before she can grab dual citizenship if she wanted to, or get a full green card, or I don't know really how that works, to be completely honest. But it's not just automatic once you get married to an American to get citizenship in the United States. I don't know that my wife wants to get dual citizenship or not. We're 13 weeks away. We aren't sure if it's a boy or girl yet. Oh, 13 weeks pregnant. Okay, not 13 weeks away. My brother left it as a surprise with his first kid. He said he didn't want to know. But yeah, if you had to say what you wanted, obviously, I'm sure you'll be happy with whatever you get. But would you rather have a boy or a girl? I don't know. I feel like I wanted a boy, but I did get a girl, and I'm happy with it. Stone Cold, 1,200 spousal visa is cheap in Australia. Norm said it costs 12,000. Yeah, with the child included. Yeah, I don't know that it is 1,200, but I do know that if I'm going to get a tourist visa for my wife, that it's just a temporary thing. I'm still gonna have to pay for the spousal visa one day. I just feel like I'd be further ahead financially just to apply for the spousal one. But we do want to be there by next January if possible, which is approaching way too quickly for that to maybe work. But I'd like to be there as soon as possible, just so my grandparents can meet their great-grand. I've lost my dad's dad and my mom's mom already, and I don't want to look back and say that we should have went to meet my mom's dad and my dad's mom before they pass. They're in pretty reasonable health, but once you're up there, it just takes one bad bout of sickness and it can be over. So we want to do our best to have Zariah meet them. Although she's not going to have memory for years to come, we will be able to at least have video, and she's already got quite the personality, so I'm sure it'll be great for the grands. Probably a boy, but God bless us either way. Yeah. Were you guys trying for a kid, or just kind of love each other and that's what happens? Talking to James and Karen about visas. He's trying to get Karen a long time one now. Huh. See, last I heard, they weren't interested in going to the States for a long time. So I'm surprised, but I mean, maybe their mindset changed a little bit now that they have the news that they're pregnant as well. Maureen Steve said, Kane, surprised it is that cheap. Yeah, like I said, I very well could be wrong about the prices, guys. But I just know that spending money on something that's temporary just doesn't quite make sense whenever we're on a fixed income. How long do you plan to stay in the States for? Well, quick boat ride from Raleigh would be cheaper. I'm not sure what you mean by that comment, Kane, but thanks for your comment. We've been trying to, okay. Well, then I'm glad that you guys finally got what you were trying for. But yeah, we're not planning on staying in the States for terribly long, Stone Cold. The game plan, very loose game plan, is to, both my grandparents are in Pennsylvania, which is in the north. We're going to hit the ground in the north, maybe visit them for weeks, and then head down south to where my parents' ministry headquarters are in Florida. Obviously, I'm a Florida resident. When I get back there, I got to get my license again. I got my truck there, and we're going to work with the ministry for about 6 months is what it takes for them to, what they call, affiliate with us. But yeah, the whole idea of going there is to see the grants and to affiliate with the ministry. That way, if and when my parents decide they want to retire, the ministry can be passed on to Jayanne and I, because we're planning on living here permanently after making some money in the States and getting fundraising for the ministry or whatever. Because as we affiliate, we're going to have to find churches that want to support us and give us a monthly bit of money. Typically what we do is we find churches about 100 with about 100 people that want to donate and get someone to donate $1 a month or something. So each church is given $100. And then you get 10 churches on board for something like that, and you get $1,000, and that about cover anything that Jayanne and I would need. Then we could reach out to those churches that are already giving just $1 a person per month kind of thing. Because if there's $1 per month and you're getting 1,000 people to give $1 per month, and you got 1,000 people that might be willing to give you $5 if you had something that you needed for ministry expenses or whatever, fundraise for specific things, building a house, building a church, building a school, stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to build a school for 5,000 USD, but it's better to get... Sorry about that. Fly went up my nose. It's better to get an army of supporters so that the ability to find people to help is a lot easier. I think my parents have got a lot more than 1,000 donors. I'm not sure exactly. I'd say it's probably more like 2,000 or 3,000 donors to my parents. And I don't know how much people are giving for them or how regularly they give, if it's a monthly thing or an annual thing. I have no idea how my parents are really doing it, but I do know how I would like to do it, which would get 1,000 people to give $1 a month, because I feel like $1 a month is a very small investment. And I know that most churches already have ministries or missionaries that they're supporting, so I don't want to come in and be like, I want more money than anyone else is getting. In fact, I'm sure almost every other missionary would ask for more than $1 per person, but I feel like it's such a small price to pay, and then they can be supporting us with prayers and things like that. Yeah, I have no idea what fundraising really looks like for ministry, long-term ministry. I've done a lot of fundraising for short-term stuff, but I lost my childhood wonder watching 5-hour YouTube video. You didn't really watch it all, did you? What is childhood wonder? I don't know. It's just a really dramatic word for imagination. Just being able to, like, innocence, I guess, before you knew that the world was full of evil. But I guess some people maybe are born into a world where the first encounter with the world was evil. But and I don't know. I wouldn't say the world is evil, but there's definitely a lot of evil in the world. Hey, Irish, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Oh, cheers, Steve. I never had long story trauma, blah, blah, blah. Kind of wish I had. Might not be so Wolf Creek. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that, Kane. I know that lots of people, that's their first memory is traumatic memories. I'm sorry that that's the case for you. Doing well. How are you? I'm doing great. Thanks, Irish. I watched about 30 minutes. Yeah, I don't think very many people would make it past 45, but just on the off chance you turned it on before you fell asleep and it just ran, I'd be able to get the 5 hours. I'll have to take a look, see what it got. What do you guys think it got? A 5 hour long video? I think there's 40 people watched it. Let me grab my phone. We'll run through my YouTube analytics. Oh. I'd be happy to help you with what I can. Well, I appreciate that, Elijah. That's in general, before we did the whole ministry fundraising, we're going to already have quite a bit of YouTube. Well, so here, I'll show you, Elijah, since you're probably, I'm not sure how much you've been in the background, but this is Start Your Earning Journey here on YouTube algorithm or analytics. Once we get 3,000 watch hours here, come on, focus. Once we get 3,000 watch hours, which we're getting close to, we'll be able to open up for memberships, supers, shopping. That's it. But yeah, so the memberships and supers are going to be really beneficial. So supers are chats that people can give monetary gifts or whatever. And then the memberships is where we're really going to be able to have an opportunity to make money. We'll have memberships available for $1 or something. So let's look at this. It says there's 70 views in 10 hours. So on average, people watch 7 minutes or something like that. It says here audience retention was about 850 on average. 2.9% of the video. As you can see, it was really good towards the beginning, and then there's just a big drop out where people didn't. There's been a couple people that watched. The last 48 hours, 8 people have seen it, so that's good. But yeah, we had 1 subscriber from it, which is kind of crazy. There was 1,000 people that saw the video, but only 4% of them clicked on it. That means my thumbnail and title need to be a little bit better. It's not dead in the water yet, but it's probably not going to do nearly as good as I had hoped. Yeah, 8.3 minutes is the average watch time, which is 5 minutes more than usual, which is ridiculous. That most of the, on average, people only watch my videos for 3 minutes. I was trying to see, yeah, 41% in the Philippines. Then it doesn't have anything else listed here, but that means we had 60% throughout the rest of the world, or almost 60%. It's interesting when we get numbers like this, 200% didn't use subtitles. And then, again, I'm not sure how these numbers are supposed to be working, but 100% of the people were not subscribed and 70% were. How's that supposed to be? I'm not sure what's going on here with the statistics. But most people were watching on their computer from what it looks like. Although, it also says that 81% of people were watching on mobile. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Something's really messed up. But in the last 90 days, it was mostly people that came from my live streams, is what it looks like. Although there was a couple people that came from shorts and other videos. But What am I doing? I'm burning cups for the hydroponics. Putting these holes in so that the roots can come out of the bottom of the cups. But obviously right now we're running through analytics a little bit because I didn't get to take a look at it in a minute. Yep, when I was first born, Masked Man slapped me many times. So I can't. I'm sorry about that, Bill. I'm thinking you're talking about in the doctor's office. There was a masked man. Nearly there, mate. Yeah, we sure are, Kane. Checking into that to find out which app you get the most money from. I'm sorry, Bill. Did I miss a comment? Let me see. That's pretty cool having it in the analytics. You figure that out. But yeah, the game plan, like I said, is to have memberships available for $1, and hopefully 10% of the people that watch the channel are willing to pay $1 a month for extra content. Probably unrealistic numbers, but if we had 100 people that paid $1 a month, that would really help out the channel. We have to spend on average 800 pages a month for my data plan. I just got home from taking videos. Awesome, David. I haven't checked out any of your videos in the last 24 hours. I'm sorry. I've been a little bit occupied, but we'll be back on your channel checking things out. But yeah, if we could get 100 people to sign up for $1 memberships and 10 people to sign up for anything that's above a $1 membership, I think we're going to do like $1, $5, and $50. Obviously, $50 will be like, I don't know, private calls, collaborations. I don't know what could be worth $50 a month, but we want to leave it open for people that really want to help out the channel, for them to be able to get an expensive membership. We're going to have to come up with some sort of rewards for that. And I don't, like I said, I don't really expect anyone to give $50, but I do want to make it an option, right? Like, as long as it's an option, people can choose it. If there's no option for it, then it's just people willing to pay for a $1 membership. So, yeah, $1 will basically unlock you to basically all the lives, aside from a couple lives that we will do for the $5 membership. And then, yeah, like I said, not sure what to do for $50. Most likely merch. I know merchandising is not an easy thing to start, but maybe we started making a monthly t-shirt to collect, or sometimes a t-shirt, sometimes socks, sometimes a hat, stuff like that. That way it would be worth the $50 membership, but I'm not sure how easy it'll be to ship things across the globe for $50 a month. Chicken, I will kill you. Get off of my lettuce. I just burnt my hand. Get down. The rooster's trying to tell her, get off there. He's gonna eat you. She's not listening. Dumb chickens. If I catch her, she's dead. I doubt I'm gonna be able to catch her. It's my chicken, guys. It's not abuse. Besides, it didn't even hit her, but I think that might have got her understanding that that is not her food. Yeah, I'll show you guys what they did in the last, not even 24 hours. We still got a couple here, but but they just went through and absolutely annihilated. This plant is supposed to be bigger than this plant, but as you can see, they're just eating it, and I'm very upset because there's probably 500 plants here, and anymore there's probably only 50 of them that are going to make it. We're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna bring the ones that look like they're gonna make it inside the hydroponics, but I'm in the middle of burning cups. We'll do that here shortly. Chickens are acting up. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Hey, you just put holes in the Coca-Cola cup. Oh, your styrofoam cups or your Coca-Cola cups? You need to say unalive, not the other word. All right. Thank you, Bill. I'll try to remember that. Shipping will be the biggest hurdle, I reckon. Keep them raptors in check. I burnt my hand a little bit, but not enough that I need ice or aloe. That soldering iron just takes a second. But yeah, Bill, I'll have to try to remember the word unalive. But yeah, there's a good channel I like to watch, Good Mythical Morning. They have probably the best merchandising line, but they also have like 1,000-person team and millions of views on every video that they post. At least hundreds of thousands. I'm not sure if it's millions on every video, but they do like quarterly. They'll do t-shirts, hoodies, and beanies and things like that, and then monthly they do a pin of the month, where you collect a pin that you can put on like a sachet is that the right word? A sash. The thing that Boy Scouts have or whatever, they have like one of those where you can fill it up with all of their monthly pins for like super fans or whatever. And the Good Mythical Morning does have maybe the highest cult following. Okay, you have to use Pew Pew. What time is it over there? It is 12 hours difference from you. It's 10:05. Pew Pew is another word useful for a weapon. Hey Doug, how's it going? We're getting these cups ready for the next batch of lettuce. But I'm trying to keep chickens off of what's left of my lettuce outside. This is the problem with having them outside, is the chickens don't want to stay off it. They're not even terribly that interested in the lettuce, I don't think. I think they're mostly interested in eating the styrofoam cups. And it's not like they don't have plenty of food available. They're just bad birds. That's the problem with free-range chickens. They have free range to do whatever they want. Curious as a cat, yeah. Yeah. I don't think there is any. I mean, I guess I could get an air gun. Or one of those salt guns for bugs. That'd work for chickens pretty well. I feel like you wouldn't hurt them. Just scare the bejesus out of them. But then again, you also could just scare a chicken to death, maybe. I don't know. In general, they're great to have around, but they find themselves getting into trouble. I'm just trying to teach you so the channel doesn't get banned. I get what you're saying, But that would mean that YouTube has to be watching my videos, and I know for a fact they're not watching my videos because there's so much stupid crap going on my channel that YouTube needs to fix. They're not watching me. But I do understand what you're saying, and in the future I'll try to play by YouTube's word rules. It's a good idea for hydroponics. The salt gun, you mean? It's a good idea. Pew pew now. Yeah, I see what you're saying because it keeps saying the G word. Yeah. The salt pew pew. No, the cups. Okay, yeah. This is how they do it most places. You can buy these black net cups that really let the roots through a lot better. But the problem is they're so dang expensive. Compared to these cups. And if you are going to give someone a net cup, they're not going to use it for something. But if you give someone one of these, they eat the lettuce out of it. They can drop a pepper plant inside and start a pepper plant with the leftover nutrients inside. Not to mention, when you sell them a lettuce with the roots attached, like we do here, you can just drop it in a cup of water or in a bowl with water, and it'll stay alive for, I don't know, probably about a week. I think we've had some in my mom's house that lived for more than a week, but I don't want to advertise 2 weeks whenever it might not happen. That'll definitely, as long as you eat lettuce once or twice a week, you won't get through the head of lettuce before you're gonna head to sleep. Have a good night, day, Levi. Thanks, Elijah. God bless you, brother. We'll see you in the next stream. Hey, Norm is finally saying something. Sorry, giving you a hard time, Norm. I know you're always tuning in the background. Maybe don't say much, but I'm glad to see you commenting. How you doing? So we got Australia, US, and Philippines represented. I don't know if David's still in here in the background or not. YouTube watches all channels when certain words come up. All right. What are some other words? Just maybe I need to say these words right before I tell them what's wrong with my video, because like I've probably had 10% of my live streams, the comments never worked. I just turned on the live, sat there for 5 to 10 minutes. People came in, people were liking. I would screenshot my screen showing there's no comments, end the stream, and then it would say there's 4 comments or 2 comments. It's like, well, I didn't get any comments on my screen, so that was YouTube's failure to make that happen. But I always just start up another one right away for the most part. So, and then maybe sometimes it doesn't work again, but sooner or later it does start working. And then we have a successful live stream, but it is inconvenient to have to start multiple streams. I typically just delete the short ones that the comments never came through on, because if you can't read comments, then for me, there's no purpose of a live stream. One that you wouldn't have to worry about. Although highly doubt they would come up in your life. All right. So are there anatomy words that YouTube doesn't allow? Like the P word for male's anatomy or the D word for male's anatomy. Like, are those things that YouTube gets upset about? No, in general, they don't like swearing. They don't like to monetize videos that has cussing in it. But I would like to have a conversation about this. What do you guys think YouTube doesn't want me to do so that I don't do it in the future? I just said one of the main ones, no swear word at all. Yeah, I'll stop just sniping, mate. YouTube has bots listening. That's why they're putting all those data centers. Okay. Similar to grapes and sewer slide are the two big ones. Okay. No, you can use pen or vagina, but not the slang ones on that. Okay. I don't know if you could figure out. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It took me a second, but I figured it out. But yeah, we'll try to keep those words out. In general, like I said, we don't allow swear words, even in the chat, and I try not to say them. But sometimes I do lose my cool when it comes to chickens or fallen or whatever. Sometimes I slip up. But yeah, so you're allowed to talk about addictions, because we've talked about that in the past, right? Like, or are there certain chemical compounds that YouTube doesn't want you to say? I know that the Philippines doesn't want me to say, and I don't know that the Philippines has any bots or people searching through YouTube to find people saying wrong things or not, but we do try to steer clear from any of the other words. You're only human, mate. We all slip up at times. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Can you edit things out of a live stream? I have not figured out how to do that, if you can. I hadn't opened up the studio app on a laptop until just last Friday. I opened up the studio app for the first time, and I was like, wow, there's a lot here on this studio on a laptop that isn't available on my phone. My wife has a laptop, but her mother uses it for her local government job. But she did say that the government is going to be buying her a laptop for her position now, and she won't have to use JN's forever, which is awesome, because JN could use the laptop for work coming up soon, because she's going to be done with college, Bible college, and could do online customs work and things like of that nature. I'm not perfect. You can talk about drugs on here. Okay. Yeah, because I know that we've had a couple of talks about addiction and alcoholism and things like that on the live, and I never saw anything bad about that. But yeah, we don't want to talk about certain things for the Philippines' sake. Yeah, devil's lettuce. That's one way to put it. PK told me just call it flowers, but in general, we don't want to talk about that very much at all, because of the Philippines. What's the term? They don't even like people talking about it, let alone doing things like that around here. They're very strict on that. No tolerance policy, I think, is what the word I was thinking of. Zero tolerance. Just my phone app. Yeah, you got to try opening it up on a laptop if you can find somewhere to do that. You could go to internet cafes. I'm pretty sure they should have an internet cafe where you're at. That used to be really popular here in the Philippines, David, back in 2017. I'm sure you saw them all over the place when you were here. But yeah, you got to be careful with internet cafes, because if you log in and someone's got something on there to track your information, you could get in trouble with someone stealing your account somehow. So that might not be the greatest idea. But you honestly could have that problem on any device you use. But internet cafe might be, especially if you can find an upscale one where it seems like nobody has something inside the computer that it's going to remember your information. Typically, you just log in and log out and you're good. But I don't know. I feel like there's so many interesting technologies that can steal your information. Maybe an internet cafe is not. I mean, we're not talking about like, I don't know. I feel like in information stealing, a YouTube channel is not a valuable thing for an information thief, but maybe it would be. I wonder if they sometimes like dump up on radio. Stream would play like 15 to 30 seconds ahead, and you can hit the button or erase it. Yeah, that would be neat. I don't think they do. I'm looking at all the things they have here. You can flip the camera, you can mute, you can put an effect on the video, you can put stickers in it, you can hide the live video. That just turns off the camera. You can retouch, create a highlight, turn on the flash, turn on lighting, which I think is a frontward facing, makes makes it a little bit easier to see, or it's just like a dark mode. But they might have that available if you're running off of a laptop, maybe, because like I said, there's a lot more available on the online site than there is on the app. But that would be something handy that YouTube could throw in there. Like if the kid runs without any clothes on in front of your stream, just a way to delete that last 30 seconds that happened, so that you don't get flagged for it. Because there is way too many kids around here that don't wear clothes. Now, they're all really young, but I don't think YouTube cares how young they are. That's communist for you, talking about anything. They don't want you to talk about anything they don't like. Yeah. I wouldn't say the Philippines is communist, but I understand what you're saying. We are surrounded by nations that are like that, and I think they have a great influence on the Philippines. But I would think that the Philippines is not that. I might not have it on the phone app, but maybe on the computer side. Yeah. See, Doug's right in my thoughts. Yes, computer would work. Pretty sure you edit a live replay. We discussed it on balances. But yeah, maybe easier on PC. Yeah, I think it'd have to be on the PC to edit stuff out of the live. We'll have to check that out next time I get the laptop open. Mike had his son flash, and he got banned for a little bit. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I get that it's something that YouTube doesn't want. It can be a real problem. But to ban a channel for something that someone else did Should be. This seems a little bit off. Or I don't know. Yeah, there should be ways to scrub things like that. Like you said, probably available on the computer. Yeah, you can edit it for upload while you're actively live on. Yeah, once the live's done, you can edit it. Just stopping in quick. Hey, you changed your thing. Good morning to you too, Colonel. You changed your picture. I didn't know who you were there for a second. Then I read your name and I was like, oh, that's the Colonel. How's things with you and the gal? You guys getting more serious every day, Colonel? Or just taking it slow? I wouldn't be surprised one bit if you two wound up being a forever thing. Seems like she's real good to you and you're real good to her. And yeah, I'm hoping that's the case for you, Colonel. I hope everything's going well with her. Forgot to ask about your ankle. Oh, my ankle is not the one that hurts. It's my knee that hurts. My hip, my chest, my ankle, they all went away pretty quickly. But my knee still has a little bit of pain because my knee, as it came down, my knee is what hit the ground. The ankle twisted to cause my knee to hit the ground, but it's since been a lot better. Hey, Colonel, said Norm, we're doing well. This is her last week of working, 6 days a week. So what's that mean? Does that mean she's working 7 days a week now, or she's going to be moving into 4? How's that work? That's good. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, definitely could have been, especially if I landed on my camera chest mount that I was working with. That would have been real bad, real painful. Not to mention probably would have broke it. Hey, Norm, said Colonel, then 7 days a week working from home. Oh, so she's done. She's given up what she's doing, at least for a season. That's awesome. 7 days a week for you. I'm excited for you. So does that mean you guys are going to start this YouTube? She's going to be your assistant camera lady, or you're going to be her cameraman? I don't know. I haven't looked at what things we're doing before Crizelle till now, but I imagine things are going up and up, right? At my request. Yeah, I imagine the channel is becoming a lot more successful, and if it's not, once you start investing 7 days a week to film, and then what I think would probably be best, Colonel, no, I don't know anything about your life or how you like to run your channel or even how to run a channel, but what I would do starting next week or whatever is make a Sunday video to post next Sunday. Make a Monday video to post next Monday. Give yourself a week to work through editing the videos, because if you're going to be doing a video every day, you put 1 hour into filming, 2 hours into editing, however you want to do it or whatever. Don't work yourself out too much. Maybe just do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of thing. But like, don't try to upload what you recorded yesterday today. I feel like I do that too much and it doesn't work. In fact, actually, that's not at all what I'm doing. I tried to do that for a while and it didn't work. I've currently got so much video that both my phones are full. That's why we don't even record videos right now. We just do the live streams. I need to, starting in May 1st, maybe ask my dad if I can take a week to try to hammer out all these videos that need work. Like I posted that 5-hour video on a whim or whatever, just raw, unedited, because there was no way I was going to be able to edit 5 hours worth of content. To be completely honest, I haven't even seen all 5 hours of it. I mean, I lived it. I think Jane and I had at least 2 or 3 disagreements throughout the day. They were on camera, but it was supposed to be completely completely unedited, raw footage from my life. YouTube is still just a hobby, said Colonel. I'm just saying, if you're going to take it to another level, as you do it with Crizella or whatever, just take your time with editing stuff. You've been doing a lot better, I'm telling you. I've noticed since you got the drone and things like that, like you're just taking it more seriously. Watch a lot of streamers in the Philippines, sitting here watching my birds, thinking I'm gonna enjoy the sunshine. They sound asleep. It's wild how big the world is. Yeah, it is wild. Well, time and everything works differently. Anyone who knows me and YouTube, Levi knows how lazy I am about posting content. And I don't know. James, I'm sure, has told you, post hour videos. And then you've got other people telling you, post 8-minute videos. And that's been the hardest thing for me to figure out. I have a pretty good data log, at least one time, where I just did, and you can look at it on my channel. I did a 5-minute video, then the next day I did 6 or 7, next day I did an 8 or 10, and so on and so forth, upgrading it. And the 2 best videos that I have are 27 minutes, I think. So 27 minutes, I think. James is right. Longer content is great, because if you get someone to click on an hour video and they get 30 minutes in, but if they clicked on a 30-minute video and they get 15 minutes in, then what's better for you? Obviously, the hour video that they got 30 minutes into. So you need an editor to help things going. Who to trust, Bill? Who to trust? I don't even know myself what I want to take out of the videos that I make and what I want to add in for words and things like that. So I don't even know how I would get along with anyone else deleting parts of my videos or not putting it in, or putting words where they don't belong, things like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I need to better figure out what I'm doing. Maybe try one scripted video, because that's the one thing I've yet to do. I've come into a couple videos with an idea of what I was going to say, but I've never had a script. And I feel like a little bit of a script might help. Like, not like me reading a teleprompter, but me having an idea of where the conversation should go in a video. I don't know. I think the one that I did with James, kind of, I had an idea in the back of my head what I was going to say, and that's why it did so well. And I think that the one thing that I learned from that video is the first minute really matters, and that's one thing that I have not been able to repeat, is getting that first minute to make people want to watch the whole video, kind of thing. And I need to figure out a way to do that moving forward. Sorry, I'm flowing, guys. Too much David in my life. Long form pays best on YouTube, but short usually get more attention due to the low attention span these days. Yeah, it is wild how, like I said earlier, when I was looking at my analytics, on average, people get 3 minutes into a video. That's ridiculous. Like, I've never posted a 3-minute video on my YouTube that I know of, other than like shorts. A lot of videos on my hiking channel are around 2 hours long. I'm a lazy editor, so mainly just added music, some color grading, and that was it. I've never used any visual, like I put words, but I've never put any sort of filter on. Is that what you mean by color grading? Maybe I could try that. It's obvious I don't script anything. Yeah. But have you gone into video having an idea of what you wanted to say, or it's all just flow, Colonel? Also, I also need to learn to talk in my videos when I start making them in the Philippines channel. David, rubbing off on you. I don't even bother watching most videos if they're at least 20 minutes long. If they are 20 minutes, you don't watch them. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry, Doug. We should be able to understand what you're saying. We're speaking the same language, but you're saying if there are 20 minutes, you don't like to watch them, or they have to be 20 minutes in order for you to click. I just added a bit more green to my videos. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when you're hiking in a dry area, it's like people are like clicking off of it. But everybody loves to see a green. And that's what I feel like. My garden is green with weeds. That's why I haven't turned it to dirt. But maybe sometime it'd be better if I just turned the whole garden to dirt and started from scratch again. But I'm so busy with chickens and hydroponics and wife and ministry things right now. Once my what I'd like to do is, my dad's getting back on May 1st. I'd like to see if he can't give me a week to get my YouTube videos. It won't take a week. It'd just take a day or two to get most of my videos ready to go. And then after that, I'd like to go through the garden and, like I said, maybe just turn it all to dirt, throw a pile of seeds everywhere, and see what we can't get to grow. But we got a couple of things we got to take care of before that happens, like putting plastic on that portion of the greenhouse, figuring out why this new well that we dug doesn't want to run like it should, things like that. No, I prefer long videos. Sorry, most videos I watch are an hour plus. Okay, awesome, Doug. Yeah, it seems like the short stuff is not nearly as entertaining. You cut too much out. I try to do both ways, Levi. I usually just wing it, getting up on second notice and speaking in front of a large audience is second nature for me anymore. All right. Did you have, like, when you're working in prisons, right? You were a colonel for prisons. Did you have a lot of public speaking then, or did you, with your world traveling and doing things in Thailand, did you get in a lot of public speaking? Is that not what you mean? The green in my videos never matched what I saw with my eyes. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, that like the video just didn't do justice, right? Productive text changes what I type sometimes. Yeah, I understand, Doug. That is the biggest problem with streams and miscommunications. Yes, captain. Yes, in the prisons and also in church. So wait, you weren't a colonel. You were a captain of prisons. So why is it called Colonel's Chronicles? Yeah, you just got to get out here, Colonel. We got to get to know each other better. And I know we've had video calls, and I'm down for another one if you ever have time for it. Just give me a ring. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my wife's in class. She's not going to be bothered by you wanting to give me a ring while she's in class. Otherwise, it's almost always family time outside of class time, and the small amount of time that I'm able to put in here at the garden. Alright, there's over 100 cups. We got one more stack here to do. And that should do us for the near future. I need to go and check up on the fair. Nobody's reached out to me about needing more hydroponic lettuce or more eggs, but if the fair is doing well today, by noon they're going to need more lettuce and eggs. Random question, what are winters like there? There isn't really like a winter here. It gets, the lowest I think it's probably ever been in the Philippines is maybe 60. It gets really rainy. It feels a lot cooler because you're used to the high humidity, sunny and 75 plus or whatever. When it gets below 70 and rainy, you're like, wow, it's cold. But no, it doesn't really get cold here. Aside from a couple different mountain ranges, like Baguio, I think that's how I say it, Baguio. They get just hot and wet and hotter and wet. I know, but it's just like your rainy season. Yeah, that's what they call it. Winter is rainy season. And rainy season is every time of the year aside from the time we're currently in. There's been word that maybe we're not going to get any serious rain until September. They're calling it a Super Nino, because I guess that's what they call all summers is El Nino. Doesn't make sense to me because Nino in Spanish is boy. So what does a Nino mean in Tagalog? I don't know, but the Spanish called it El Nino. They meant something boy. The boy. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I thought I knew Spanish pretty well, but maybe not. Okay, I thought it was Bora Bora. It's like that during what would be winter. It rains just about every day. Yeah, so almost all year, aside from the summer months here, you're going to experience rain at least twice a day. I remember when I was a kid, when I was 12, it was like 2 p.m. it would rain, 2 a.m. it would rain every day. It was like someone was turning it on a irrigation or a water sprinkler system. It was very similar. But yeah, hoping it's dry in July. It rained all of last October when I was there. You're coming in July? That's what you mean? That's awesome. You guys are in southern Philippines, right, Norm? Mindanao area, or am I wrong? Are you in the western Visayas and Luzon? Wow, okay, that's a lot of rain. We don't get that much in Florida. Yeah, well, I know all about the Florida. I love Florida, man. Can't wait to be back. Northern Samar. Trying to think if I even know where Samar's at. Let me pull up a map. I guess it's not like I'm pulling up your actual house. Go look at a map, see where Northern Samar is. Ocala? Nice. Ocala is monkey region, right? Isn't that what they're known for? They filmed a movie in Ocala that had monkeys way back when, and now there's just monkeys running wild in Ocala. Or am I wrong about that? I'm in Sebring, is where I'm, if I'm above Lete. Okay. I'm at Catamaran. So it says Samar Lete here, but all right. So yeah, you're eastern Versailles instead of western Versailles, maybe. Here's Samar, guys. This one here. Then Lete is this other one, this big one with. There's too many islands, brother. But yeah, we are over here. This is Panay. We're over here by the tip where Boracay is. As you can see, Boracay is not that big. We're near this Motog Museum. Cuba Norte. Here it is. So there's you come on this road, go up this hill, go around the corner. Oh, no, the corner's the slaughterhouse, so no, Carly Active Learning Center is there. So we are, yeah, Malai Slaughterhouse is here. So this is the last turn by our garden, and we are right here. This little slice of paradise. Can you see me in the greenhouse? Can't you see how nice our garden looked once upon a time? Now it's just like, looks horrible. This is back when we had the flower berm. We put all these flowers in the center of the garden, bring the pollinators in. But yeah, that was before the chicken barn was here. That's before the greenhouse was expanded. There's Papa's house. But yeah, that's where we're at. And that's where Samar's at. We're heading up to Luzon, to Jayan's family up in northern Luzon, Isabela area, somewhere around here. This big river that runs through here or whatever. They live right along the, what's it called? Can't remember the name of the river now. Of course, it's not going to tell me. It's the biggest river in the Philippines. Longest, deepest, most water. I don't know how they're judging it to be the biggest in the Philippines, but it's the biggest river in the Philippines. Hello, everybody. Said Hapa. Hey, been to Boracay back in 2022. Boracay was quite the place in 2022. It's quite the place this year as well. We were just there for the boat races. I don't know if you saw that, Norm. We posted a video last night about boat races, the dragon boat races. But yeah, it was quite the place in 2012. Hey, Hapa is what he means. Hey, Hapa, how's it going? See, everyone loves Hapa. I'm sorry I missed your chats there, Norm. We're gonna read them now. Samar's Bufflete, Catamaran. No, not far from there. No, but not far from there. Okay. The monkeys were not Ocala. Okay. Samar and Lete are joined by the bridge when it works. Ocala is mostly known for the Air Force test bombing range. They do practice drops there. All right. You can see Catamaran right at the top. Okay. Yeah, Bellis is on Lete, not far from Orc or Mock City. Been to Boracay in 2022. I'd love to see Panay, but it's hard to take Marissa from Northern Smart. Yeah, once you get a lady who has family in one area, it's hard to get them convinced to travel a lot. But it is also most every Filipino's dream to see other parts of the Philippines, I feel like, although they don't want to leave home. Looks great. Hope to buy land one day. Well, I hope it's a lot cheaper where you're looking to buy land, because this farm here is expensive that we're on. We have at least, thank the Lord, because we could not afford to buy this place. There's a farm or a rice field not far from here. It's across from the hospital, so that's why I think they want a crazy price for it. But they want $400,000 per acre. I think that'd be like 600,000 Australian dollars or something like that per acre. Now, if you don't do acres and you like to do the square meters things, it's 7,000 pesos per square meter. So over 150, I'd say, Australian dollars per square meter. Wild. For a rice field, it's kind of near the ocean, and it's right across from the hospital for whatever value that is, but it's a rice field. Do you know how long you'd have to farm rice in a rice field to get your money back off of that? About 4 or 5 generations. Do you think that if you bought it, that the second generation wouldn't just sell it? If you put a hydroponic greenhouse on it, if I did, I'd probably have it paid off by the time I was 70 or 80. So yeah, I'm not buying that 7,000 pesos per square meter plot, but it's just wild how much they want for a rice field here. About to eat a big piece of chocolate cake, ready to feel like crap after. Yeah, it is kind of how it goes sometimes, Hoppa. You're not gluten intolerant, are you? Norm said we will travel around. She does know what she doesn't. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. Yeah. The wild monkeys are in Silver Springs, Florida. Okay. Nice, Hoppa. Yeah, I guess I got that wrong. I thought I went to Aklan once and I saw a mural of monkeys, and so I just assumed that the monkeys were in Ocala. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a different town that I saw the mural of monkeys. Maybe there was never a mural. Maybe it was all just a dream after hearing the monkey story. I hope to spend about 1 million pesos on another couple and another couple on the building a house and a small garden will do me. Yeah, so 1 million pesos is not going to build you a very big house or buy you a lot of land, but you might be able to do pretty well for yourself. I think, if I remember right, the professor for the college that works for us said that he's over 3/4, like 750,000 for his 2-story house that's not much bigger than this 20 by 20 greenhouse. Now it's stormproof, and it's got a high roof. Like, he could have put 3 stories underneath the roof, but he only put 2 for some reason. But yeah, so it takes, what is up with this cup? All these other cups are soft, but this one's like, I don't even know that I want to break that. That's a good cup. They're all getting hard, actually. The extruder must have really compressed these. We're gonna leave that one too. Yeah. This whole bottom of the stack is soft. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird. Are you going to just split live with David or the Colonel? Oh, that would be cool. The Colonel would want to do one. He was in here a minute ago. We should have asked him. Yeah, it's definitely a lot thicker. Not sure why. But yeah, these cups are about a peso each, but these ones are about thick enough you could charge 3 pesos for. Chickens aren't going to eat through those ones pretty easily. But yeah, I'd love to do one with the Colonel. I like Behol, but she said she wouldn't want to live there, so that's out. A half acre will do. If I can find about 2 million on, if I can find it, about 2 million on the house. You can build yourself, and what I suggest for everyone who wants to build a house is build yourself a kubo. Buy the land, build a very cheap kubo. 1,000 USD or 1,200 Australian D ought to do you fine. Light materials, bamboo, nipa, just a bedroom and a little place to cook food or whatever. Build it real nice and cheap. Maybe if you're smart, set it up so that you can put aircon in it. But build yourself that as close as you can to the nearest road, so it can be like a safe area for you to have someone watch over your supplies, or for you to watch over your supplies as you're getting things shipped in. And then after you've got yourself a watch house, for lack of a better term or whatever, a place where you can sleep and rest and make a cup of coffee and get out of the heat, then you start building yourself your house or whatever. And then when your house is done, it's a nice guest house for when family comes over, and you don't want them to be in your space because you built yourself a nice piece of property or whatever that you don't want to share with all of her family whenever they come to visit. I mean, obviously they'll come onto your land and come into your house, but like give you a little bit of extra room. That's what I would do. Hey Jack, hey Phil, what's up? How you guys doing? God bless you guys. Thank you for joining. Might even find an old house on land and build a new one. Yeah, it needs to be near the road. Yeah, you do not want to get something built up that's a kilometer away from the road and have to carry everything in a kilometer. You'll wind up paying guys that work on the project with you just to carry the stuff in, and that'll be all they'll do for one day is carry the stuff in. But yeah, I'd advise, if you're building around family, not to employ family unless if you have to. Try to keep family out of the construction process because it'll just cause extra stress. Find people that the family trusts. But I wouldn't go as far to say that you need to hire some well-known contractor. I think you're probably just going to waste a lot of money hiring someone that thinks he's a professional. Just find a couple guys that have built a house or two or helped build a house or two. Guys that have never been a foreman or whatever. And then get advice from real foremans or whatever. But you'd save a lot of money if you don't get a guy who thinks he knows what he's doing. Because that's where the professor for the college that built his house, that cost him basically $1 million, and it's not even finished, was he hired a guy that thought he knew what he was doing, thought he was a professional or whatever, and just kind of wasted all of his money on professional advice and things like that. And it's just like, you got to be careful. Some guys get in their mind that they're worth a lot of money, and just you wind up spending all of your money in labor for the guy that thinks that he needs 1,500 paces a day to be your foreman. Whenever you could get 3 guys to do twice as much work as he's going to do because he thinks he's the boss and he needs to get other people to do the work because he's above that. I don't know. I'm just really speaking out of line here, but just trying to give advice from a very young guy that knows absolutely nothing, so don't take any of it as good advice. I've been on a couple construction crews in the States. I'd love for that to be my full-time job someday. Once the ministry, once I build a ministry that kind of does itself, I'd like to when I take over my parents' ministry, I'd like to get a team of 10 or 20 people, locals, that can really almost do ministry on their own, and then we just be their support. Because I have so many dreams and things I want to do here in the Philippines, and ministry is definitely one of them, but I'd much rather be not doing all of the work myself like I have been so far. Alright. Old house near the road. Rent over in Los Angeles is ridiculous. Yeah, it definitely is, Hoppa. It can be wild how much you can spend in California or any of those western states. I'd buy her an old family home and renovate it, but the road washed out during Julanda in 2013. So we need to walk to her town in the forest now. Unless it's dry, you can get a bike in. Okay. And you feel like road construction is not up your alley, getting that road back in order? Or you just feel like it's going to be another washout and another storm? It's just a poor place to put a road. That happens quite a bit here. It's actually where we were going last night for Jan's family lives in the barangay of Kogan. And they built a bridge. And then right on the other side of the bridge, they built a road. And they put a big, wall in to keep the river contained. But stopped about, 2 or 3 meters shy of how high they should have made the road. And anytime there's a flood, the river just washes across the road. And since the storm last year or whatever, there's still 2 or 3 dump trucks worth of stone that they just swept to one side of the road, but takes up like half of the road. So you can't even pass 2 tricycles on the road anymore. One guy's got to pull off into the grass or whatever so they can pass there. It's just like, great idea to put a road there, but also just work on that wall a little bit more. And I guess potentially, no matter how high they make the wall, the river is always going to wash across. Or better yet, when this river bed is laying on the road, maybe just put it back in the riverbed or load it on the trucks and take it and use it for a construction project. Instead of just letting the stone sit there, taking up half the road forever. Money was put aside years ago to make the road around the river, but its only kilometer was built before the money was all gone. The road is about 3 kilometers from her town, so maybe one day. Yeah, it is amazing how money disappears here and all over the world when it comes to construction projects. We could call it corruption without knowing really what happened, but it is just the fact of the matter that it costs about $1 million USD in the United States to lay a mile of road. So I'd imagine it costs at least half of that to do one here. People think the labor is cheap, but the resources and the fact that they're not using like cement trucks and they're doing it all with wheelbarrows should be a good sign that it takes a lot more effort, a lot more time to do what they thought was going to be able to be done for less. Levi, were you there during the hurricane that hit the Philippines fairly recently? I've been here since 24, so yeah, probably. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. There was one that hit Luzon really bad, but it never really hit us where we're at. Yeah, we were not affected by that last big storm hurricane came through. But we had one when I was away, but my family was here. When was that? Must have been winter 2018. Took the roof off my parents' house they were staying in. Because obviously my parents don't own a house. And destroyed almost all the native houses that all the people locally lived in. She has 4 copra farms, but lost all the profits, having sacks carried out by hand. So you're saying the labor cost of having all the for the harvest takes away all the profits? Sounds like small margins, which is basically what Philippine farming is. The tiniest of margins, because people don't make enough to pay a lot for things. And I don't know. Our eggs are, I guess, about as expensive as they are anywhere in the world. Because it's $250 for our small eggs or medium eggs. It's $250 for our small eggs, $260 for our medium eggs. So if we're gonna say that it's 60 pesos to $1, that's less than $4 for the medium tray, or $5 for the large tray, or for the jumbo tray rather. So 30 eggs for $5 is pretty much the price of eggs everywhere, I guess, but the margins are very slim for our eggs. On paper, it looks like you can double your money because it costs 4 pesos to feed a chicken a day, and they lay an 8 to 10 peso egg. But you wind up spending a lot more than 4 pesos to get that 10 peso egg. I remember J&K visited a guy named Tom. He had a huge rice mill. Yeah, I remember seeing that video. I never actually watched it. He said when the hurricane hit, it tore off part of his building. Maybe it was Yolanda. So that would have been 8. Didn't you say that 13 was Yolanda? So that was a while back. I was here in 13. No, I wasn't here. We got here in 12. And then we were only here for about 12 months, 9 months that first time. 9 to 12 months, I can't remember. It wasn't quite a full year, I don't think. My memory's horrible, guys. Yeah, hardly any profits left after labor. Much better when the road was there. Yeah, I understand that. Eggs here are 12 eggs for $1.62 now. So let's just go make it real simple. So that's 12 cents per egg. Something like that. Yolanda was 13. Yeah, like that. Maybe we were here for Yolanda. My memory is really bad, guys. Dang, Norm. Sounded like it's a huge storm. So yeah, 12 cents per egg would be 6 pesos. So it's a lot cheaper in the States, actually. It would be a lot better if we made our own feed. We didn't have to pay for the feed, but I'm sure we'd also spend still at least 2 to 3 pesos to feed a bird if we had our own feed. Where are you, Bill? That sounds like about $5-6 a dozen here. Storm surge killed thousands in Tacoma, Iowa. All right. What to get started on next? I guess I need to catch these chickens that have been out of their cage for a day or two, because they're gonna start dying off on us. 2 of them seem to be inside the chicken barn here. I'm not sure what all these birds are making so much noise. This is a bird I need to catch. And then this is a bird I need to catch. And that one too. This one was so easy to catch, the other ones are not so easy. This is how I almost broke my stand yesterday chasing chickens. That one chick is curious why the other one's crying so much, but he won't quite get close enough. They did get quiet quick. How many chickens need to produce about 6 eggs a day? I don't know. 7 or 8? This chicken might just come over here. You guys have Costco over there. I get my eggs at Costco. We have something like Costco here. It's called, I know this. I don't know why my brain's fogging. I just got done drinking water and think it would work. S and R is our Costco. I think I'm going to come back for that black one in a minute. Stick these 2 back in their cage. Yeah, we do have an S&R here, but I think eggs are more expensive at S&R. S&R is like an import special place where most everything is imported. No Costco here. Unfortunately, Walmart and Kroger and Grants. You don't have a Publix, Doug? The chicken said nope. Okay. Just think about having some chickens one day for eggs. Yeah, Norm, you could, if you're lucky, you'll get 6 birds to lay 6 eggs. Wonder where Stone is in the kernel. Yeah, the kernel has got SNR in his town. That's basically the Costco of the Philippines. Come here, chicken. I need to put some work into these chicken pens so that they quit getting out. The biggest thing is we built this feed slot to put a PVC here, but the small birds can just squeeze right through there. I actually am planning on it, Norm. Those would have to buy 6 at least time. Thanks so much, Virginia. Not too far north from Publix. No, I didn't notice Publix was that. It was just a southern Florida thing. It's interesting. A Quick Trip, you can get 12 eggs for $1. Limit 10 dozen. That's wild. Where is Quick Trip getting their eggs? Are they watery or do they seem fresh? I hate wrangling these stupid chickens. And this chicken knows that there's food and water inside. And would probably crawl in there on its own, as it's trying to do right now. Yeah, this is one of our rare chickens. Chickens that have white feathers typically don't have black feet. And if you check out her meat, it's not exactly white meat either. But it's also not sure how well she's going to do in life because she should be a lot bigger than this by now. Real fresh, said Bill. Yeah, they must have the chickens at Quick Trip in the back somewhere. Because if I have a hard time shipping them in a truck, you could get them that cheap. Publix goes as far as North Carolina, but I haven't seen one any further north. Oh, well, she's a runt. Yeah, I don't know. We've got a couple Blackfeet ones, and they say yellow feet, like this one here, tastes the best. But check out the size of that rooster. I don't know what happened to him that he got so big. He still doesn't have much meat on his bones, but he is tall. These are all hybrids. Quick Trip chickens. Yeah, there's not a single purebred bird in here, and in fact, they're hybrids of hybrids. So the DeKalbs, which are the layer hens that we're raising, are Leghorn crossed with some other white poultry, and then they were the mothers of these white chickens, and then we had the black Australorp was the father, and or a Rhode Island Red was the father. But for the most part, the Rhode Island Red was not interested in mating with the DeKalbs females. It was just the Australorp that was interested. And then we got this red and white one here that is Rhode Island Australorp mix. And then we got one back there that's also Rhode Island Australorp mix, but mostly came out Rhode Island Red. Yeah, very much. You're never going to see very many chickens like the ones we have in this cage. Yeah, we need a Quick Trip here as well. That's an NBA chicken. But yeah, they're all the same age for the most part. They're just a week apart. I think there's 3 batches here that are a week apart. So there's this one may be 3 weeks older than that small female sitting beside him. But they're all pretty much the same age. This one, hopefully, I think will be our stud for the white laying chickens in the future, because we won't have to use a black Australorp. We'll have a white chicken for that now. Did you communicate with John about the cake? Yeah, John got the cake. Thanks for asking, Jan. I love you. Yeah, John got the cake. I'm surprised he didn't bring it in yet. I gotta get sacks and get some rice hulls for Papa, and then buy his green plastic for his cage. Can't hear you, just commenting. Okay. Well, someone comment to JN, John got the cake for me. Because she's apparently watching in class, the nodding break. Yes, got the cake. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you. What a moderator's for, right? You guys are, all the moderators, basically my friends. Where I see it. And come here and eat in GCBI. Yeah, I'll be coming there to eat in GCBI. But I do need to get a couple other things first accomplished before the end of the day. Yeah, these are also maybe crossed. This is a DeKalb Brown, I was told. Not by the one that bred them, but by someone else that said that that's got to be a DeKalb Brown. And then this is not a DeKalb Brown here. That's just a Rhode Island Red. Because there's no DeKalb looking in them. And then there might be ones in there that are Rhode Island Red DeKalb Brown crosses, but the guy who sold them to me said that they were Rhode Island Red DeKalb crosses. I just ate some cake. I was gonna ask how it was, Hopper. Yeah, these birds will be ready to lay before those other ones over there, but they're not, those birds over there are not much younger than these ones. These ones were just raised right. Where's the biggest chicken on the farm? I know you're always asking about him, Papa. I'm never sure which one you're speaking of because I've probably showed you every chicken on the farm. But there's Papa, which is probably the biggest chicken on the farm. But I don't know where he is right now. Here's one of my Rhode Island Reds that I raised from a chick. And he's almost ready to start mating girls. But he's going to have a hard time convincing any of the other roosters around here that that's allowed. This one would normally let me catch him, but I'm just going to open the door and he'll walk right in, I think. Got him trained pretty well, I feel like. But yeah, I think the bird you're speaking of, Papa, freaking delicious. There's got to be, not this one, this one. I think is the bird you must be talking about. He doesn't look that big in the cage. Tries to make himself as small as possible to fit in there. The biggest should be the breeder. Yeah, he's breeding. He's breeding this dainty little hen. Trying to get some Rhode Island Red native crosses. That hen's got a unique coat. I feel like she would be good to breed with him. But I think this has got to be the one Papa's talking about. Of course, it's going to look giant in POV. But I think he's 3 kilos. Nah, like 2.5, 2 1/4. But that's still 5 pounds. He's got, I mean, these, they say the Australorps, Rhode Island Reds like this look bigger than what they actually are. And the one farmer picked up this one and said, oh, this is small compared to mine or whatever. But I think he was just being cocky. But yeah, he hardly fits in that cage. And I wouldn't have him in there, aside from the fact that he'd get abused by all the other chickens, all my other roosters, if I let him out. Trying to find Papa. Here's Papa's son, Tails. And he's also like standing up straight. His back touches the top of the cage. 5 pounds, that's good. I think Papa might be more than 5 pounds, because I've been feeding him well for a while. I just don't know where he is. There he is. He's up on the hillside. I can hear him. Oh no, he's not. He's in the cage over here. Papa's definitely the tallest chicken on the farm. I don't know if he weighs more than that one we just had out. Come here, Papa. This is the father of most all my native chickens. He's Asil. Hula is what they call him. Yeah, he's probably not 5 pounds. Looking at him now, he looks more shimpy. But yeah, I'm gonna gather these sacks and then we're gonna go and get some rice hulls for bedding. But yeah, once the cage gets completed, which could be later today, I guess. I just haven't made time to focus on the cage, because they're doing just fine in the cages that they're currently in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacks ought to do us. But yeah, there's a lot more value in native chickens that are 100% native than there are in native chickens that have Rhode Island Red in them. But I do want to experiment with native Rhode Island Red. So that's why we got the Rhode Island Red in with the native. Random fun fact, did you know Bibba Cross was Air Force drill instructor? I don't even know who Bibba Cross is, but it is an interesting fact. Alright. Trying to figure out what I need to bring with me. I think that what time is it? Yeah, we should have enough time to get rice hulls and get to class for lunch. We'll show you where we're getting rice hulls, but I think we're going to turn off the stream once we start grabbing them. That's funny, Doug. Bob Ross? No, I had no idea. That is an interesting fact. Air Force drill instructor. So like, isn't a drill instructor like loud and in your face? Like, you can't handle character, and then Bob Ross, the quiet. That's wild. figured out what I was missing, guys. My cell phone has the data plan. I was walking away there and the internet was getting worse and worse, and I'm like, what's going on with my data? I'm walking away from the phone. It's in the greenhouse. Mr. Roger was Marines too. Exactly. That's wild. Those guys were like the biggest small name people that I feel like became even more popular after the fact. And he decided to retire. So he wanted to raise his voice again. Yeah, when I think of Bob Ross, I do not think of drill instructor or Mr. Roger. But I guess we need more drill instructors to do entertainment. That's what I like. Alright, we got the cell phone now. We won't have to lose y'all. It's a bad signal. So how's the audio been for you guys? Is it windy, loud, quiet? I haven't used the mic all day because I destroyed my mic last night chasing chickens last evening. I think the Jan said she was going to order me a new one. I don't know if she actually did yet or not. Noah, what's up? Elijah was in the beginning of this stream. What's up with you? We're going to get some rice hulls. Heading out of the garden here. 14 likes, thanks Noah. That's once we get to the rice hull place, I think we're turning off the stream. But we'll bring you guys along for the ride. Audio has been great. A little wind, but it's not too bad. Sounds good here. Sounds good. Awesome. Yeah, that's the new mic. Should be here within a week or so. But we are without the microphone for a short season here because I busted the transmitter. Hard to fix it. It seems like it might be impossible to fix. We will see. Put my phone in the bag too before it falls out on the floor or road while I'm driving. Perfect for me. All right. Well, we might not use the mic then in certain circumstances. That was interesting. We dropped out there. I know driving is harder to hear without a microphone, but we are using cutting edge technology with this brand new phone. But yeah, what we need to do is get another 800 peso plan for this smartphone. Hey, there's Clarence. Hardest working 4-year-old or 8-year-old. I don't know what he is, but I know he cleaned up the whole chicken barn that day. I'm not sure how many of you guys were there for that. I'm pretty sure I didn't upload that live. I don't know if I deleted it or if I just hid it because I didn't want to show a kid working. I didn't know what labor rules are here. in the Philippines, and I don't want to get in trouble for employing a kid. I didn't really employ him. He came begging for eggs, and I gave him eggs and cash after I asked him to clean the barn, of which he did basically the entire thing. So I went out to a party last night, Noah. They have, the fair had a party for recognition for all the government employees. And Jane's mom is a government employee for her barangay. So they said I should come out and join them and do some dancing. So I went out and did some dancing with Papa last night on the dance floor. I'll have to send you a video of it. I think you might find it entertaining. I suck at dancing. I never done a party, maybe ever in the Philippines. Because as a missionary, you probably best separate yourself from making people think that you're a missionary at parties, especially because we're working with mostly Baptist churches. But I did go and have a couple beers with Papa and dance with him on the dance floor. He had a couple beers and then I left and he had a couple more. He came home and he's like, "Sorry, Levi, I got too drunk." I was like, "You don't gotta tell me sorry." Yeah, this is where we get our rice hulls, local rice mill. They're already milling, so we're gonna not go in there and record, but it sounds good for having a little fun. We're working hard. Quality is good too. The video quality. I put a full 5-hour video on the work. Good call, Stone Cold. How are you, bub? Even driving? Alright guys, we're gonna tune out here. I'm not sure what's happening with my data, Wi-Fi. God bless y'all. Noah, sorry we're just leaving when you just got here. Papa, Stone Cold, Doug, Bill, everybody. You guys are awesome for coming in and watching, giving me your time. I'm gonna grab these calls and then go and have lunch with my wife at class. God bless y'all, and we'll see you maybe in the afternoon stream. Jane's at class. Yeah, we're gonna have lunch together. See you, bro. Said Noah. Glad I caught you live. Have a good day. Peace.